Stop pretending. Stop pretending. Don't say I'm not anxious. When you are anxious, you are there watching Titanic on rerun. It's what same evening you watch it 5 times. You late for work. There's anxiety there. Don't pretend yourself. Petrina, we'll be doing our book review, and I'm telling you, Petrina, this book review on bulletproof dating has been absolutely awesome so far. Seriously.
Yes, it has.
I think everybody watching it, and with all these things that you've been sharing, we've been uploading it onto the YouTube channel as well. And we need to do more to kind of share it out there, because these pearls can help solve a lot of problems and help
definitely
precondition people to make the right steps. So it's so important. So it's been great. So we're gonna get straight into it now, because I know you've got some wonderful pearls, and I do not want to hold back your power. All right.
Yes.
So what we're going to be looking at today, Petrina?
Well, the 2 weeks ago, the last time we were on, we were sharing about how to overcome dating after divorce, widowhood, or a long-term relationship. So today we're going to be moving on to almost getting there. Now, remember, while we know about how to keep ourselves moving after a long-term relationship or widowhood or divorce, the book it warns us about anxiety and not falling at the last hurdle.
Oh, this is important. Because sometimes.
So basically, while we know all the rules, sometimes just as a spear of the moment, all the rules could just go out the window because of anxiety.
Wow! Look, guys, if you know this, if you know what she's talking about, just put in a live chat. Yeah, I know what that can feel like. I you know what I mean. I know what it was like to come into that kind of frame of mind. Oh, it's not easy. It's not easy. All right, take us to the promised land, Superwoman.
So it talks about anxiety. When anxiety takes over, you stop using your head and begin to use your emotions because of the fear of being left on the shelf or losing the only person who's given you a bit of tension.
Wow.
And that term about being left on the shelf, if you're, I'm sure if you're a lady, as a woman especially, you'll know, because someone would have said that to you. I certainly had this sort of comment said that to me when I was on the shelf, so to speak.
Oh my gosh, that's so wicked. That's so wicked to say such a thing, You've been left on the shelf. My goodness.
Yeah. So it says, but in perseverance, you're patient and you don't give up. You don't get tired of doing good, and time is not your enemy, but your ally, and allows you to improve as a person.
So time is not your enemy.
Yeah, but your ally, and it
but
allows
your ally,
okay. And it allows you to improve as a person.
That's true, isn't it? Because so you got anxiety on one side that causes you to kind of be irrational, and you can kind of start just focusing on the situation, and you can make mistakes based on feelings and poor judgment. But what you're saying is, no, wait, you're by yourself. You've got time. The situation says, oh, you don't need time. You need someone now. Look how you're feeling. But what the book is saying, no, it's actually your ally. It's your ally to make yourself more valuable. Because when you become more valuable, when I say more valuable, it's like you work on yourself. You work on, removing old scars, etc., and becoming, having new skills. And then you'll, and Captain Hugo's like, yeah, that's right. And you will attract someone who's working on themselves as well. You'll be able to see better. So it's actually helping you. Not many people talk like that, Not many people see it that way. You know? Many people like family are like, I want to have children. Where are my grandchildren? I remember my mom tried to pull that stunt on me.
Yes.
I close
yes.
that stuff down. I'm like,
I
no,
think most parents do anyway. So.
bless them. Yep. Okay. Yep. Go on. Continue.
Yeah. So it talks about how we are in this world these days. We want everything fast and instant. The era of fast food. Drive through, getting meals. Wi-Fi, high speed Wi-Fi. 24-hour divorces, microwave cooking, and so on.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
We mustn't get into a relationship in that way as well. In terms of getting it just fast. So it talks about I want it now mentality.
Oh wow!
When it's applied to a person's love life, the results can be disastrous.
It's true, because you can get away with it for a little while concerning food, right? You can get away with it for a little while concerning buying something from the shop. No one likes delayed gratification, but when you try to speed up things concerning your relationship, it can hurt your whole life very quickly. Wow.
Yeah. So it gives an example about how anxiety can make us ill. Now, those of you who have ever watched the Superman movie, you'll know, right? Superman, his enemy was kryptonite. That's the thing that made him weak, right?
Yeah.
So it's proven that anxiety is one of humanity's greatest enemies. It's like kryptonite to Superman. It weakens you and ends up undoing everything that you've achieved or planned so far.
Whoa.
It messes you up so much that besides making you emotionally vulnerable, your physical and mental health can also be affected.
My gosh, it's so true. It's so true. We never look at it that way. We just see like Captain Hugo, like sometimes we just see the external anxiety, right? We just see the behavior. But it actually is like kryptonite, and if the person is in faith or they're of God, or do you know what I mean? They've worked so hard on themselves. As soon as anxiety comes in, it's like it becomes a level playing field for an accident to happen. You just become vulnerable. It doesn't matter how strong you were previous to anxiety, and so this is really true. This is something that we need to all look out for. Wow. Yep. Continue, please.
So it says fear takes over and ends up forcing you to act on it. Blackmail, threats, aggression, playing dirty, pushing the limits, and sometimes even just throwing in the towel. So it gives examples like, for example, if a woman gets pregnant to trap her boyfriend and now he hates her for it. It's the woman who spends the night with a guy and hasn't received a phone call from him, so now she becomes a stalker.
Oh, father. Oh, man. It sounds like Ronald has a story on that one. Well, we won't go there right now. But, okay.
And third one is the guy who's so afraid of losing his girlfriend, he alienates her from all her friends. So being overprotective.
It's true. Wow. And do you think that these... And I think... what this isn't a thing of issues previously, right? I mean, it can be previous issues, unresolved issues, internal issues, insecurities, etc. But this can also be the person who sorted themselves out and anxiety has literally come in. So it's like they were good, but they weren't looking out for anxiety. Right, and then all these different kind of behaviors are started to unearth and started to manifest themselves in the person's behavior. Those are my thoughts. So it's like you're okay, you're doing well, you're ready for love life, but just because of time, anxiety creeps in, fear takes over, and you just start acting irrationally and you start making some really bad choices. Wow.
Yeah, and a lot of times also it affects you depending on the company that you keep as well. So, for example, if you're single and you're mixing around a lot with like people who are in a good relationship, sometimes they can actually make you feel like left out as well if you're the only one who's single in that group. Yeah,
it's true. And that's why I really love the love therapy on Thursdays at 8:00. There's a lady that I work with. She's absolutely fantastic. I've known her for a very long time. And, and she said, you know what? I'm getting to that age where, you know what? We have to think about, whoever is going to come into my life. They have to think whether they want kids or not, because time is not on our side. And I'm okay with that. I'm happy to be an auntie. I've got a lot to be an auntie to many other children. I'm happy. I'm good. And she's literally just, in her lane, doing her thing and just becoming more and more valuable, And I don't tell this person this, but every time I see that, I just admire this person, because of what she's saying. So it's the opposite to anxiety kicking in, right? The person becoming more richer, more better with time, and they got a clear focus, and they won't accept any rubbish or nonsense.
Yeah. Well, I mean, maybe you should tell the person this, because it's nice to hear it as well.
Yeah, I've told them, but not to that extent.
Okay, that's good. Yeah. So with every problem, there are solutions. So the book is recommending how can you overcome anxiety. So there's 5 steps is listed.
So how to overcome anxiety. I'm looking forward to this one. Yes.
Yeah. So the step 1, it says, understand that this feeling comes to everyone and nobody is above it all the time.
Yeah.
That's absolutely true, because we all have our own hurdles in life to overcome.
Yeah.
So, there will be times where we will feel anxious. And you have to deal with it every time it comes up. It would be great if you could overcome it today and never have to deal with it again, but that's not going to happen. So just be aware of the symptoms.
Okay. All right.
So that's step 1.
Yep.
Okay, step 2, it says anxiety is a form of fear, and to overcome this fear, you will have to face it. For instance, if a thought comes to mind that says you'll never find the ideal person, how can you confront it? With a better and smarter thought, if I don't find that person will find me.
Drop it like it's hot.
So that's a more positive thought.
So you're saying to reverse it, right? Reverse it. Anxiety comes through thoughts, can come through thoughts in the mind, and it's telling you one thing to make you fear, to be, to feel afraid, to feel that desperation, but you flip it on its head. What if you don't find the person? Person won't find me. I'm working on myself. I'm making myself more valuable. I'm working on myself. Person gonna find me. It's all good.
Yeah.
It's nice.
So if you do the right things, there's no way you won't be found by the person. And doubt your doubts, question your fears every time.
Yeah.
Doubt your doubts and question your fears every time.
Okay.
Okay, step 3.
Yep.
Step 3, avoid situations that make you anxious. And this is exactly what I was saying. If you feel depressed after watching romantic movies or listening to love songs or, spending time with couples and you're only a single person, then you may want to start avoiding it.
Yeah.
If certain types of friendships, whether real or virtual, make you feel left out about a certain person, get busy with something else.
Absolutely.
This will keep you from comparing yourself with other people your age. And when the thoughts of comparison are inevitable, remember that your story is not the same as those of other people.
Absolutely. That I think that's phenomenal. And why wait for a fire? Why deal with a fire? Make sure there's no spark. Right? Make sure there's no spark. That's it. Sometimes there might be a romantic movie coming on, Pretty Woman, and already you have a tendency to get emotional. Turn that TV off. Watch Die Hard, Bruce Willis, action movie. You know what I mean? And like that's it. Let's not allow the fire to come. Let's not even allow there to be a spark. Cut that stuff off, and it will benefit in the long run. Phenomenal. I love it. Yep. Keep it going.
So step 4, invest in the opposite of anxiety: calm, patience, rest, and confidence. So instead of feeling sad, aware that you're all alone on a Saturday night, how about taking a bath, doing your nails, reading a book, and getting to bed early?
Exactly.
So, as I said before, just avoid the things that will cause you to be anxious.
That's a good one. Guys, I hope you're taking note, guys. I hope you are taking note of these things, because if you are single, anxiety is going to come and strike you. And if you are not, isn't it? Hugo saying like, that's it, go, yes, sir, that's it. You know, so this is important. All right. Yes, go ahead. Keep going.
Okay, and then the last final step, number 5, it says drink from the source of healing for all anxiety. That means a good relationship with God that makes you calm, and His Spirit will actually keep you calm as well.
It's true.
So as the Bible says, the verse in Galatians and First Peter, it says, but the fruit. So this is Galatians 5:22. Says, but the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, patience, gentleness, goodness, faith, meekness, and self-control. And there's a verse on 1 Peter 5 verse 7. Says, cast all your care upon him because he cares for you.
Ooh. There you have it. That is totally the opposite. That's an antidepressant, anti-anxiety, anti-stress, right? That is actually it. And the strong thing is sometimes from a faith perspective, sometimes anxiety and all these emotions can be very overwhelming. But it's in those moments when you need to put your face to the floor, and like Petrina sharing with us from the book Bulletproof Dating, literally pour it at Jesus' feet. Pour it at his feet. And when you stand up, you'll be completely different. Try it, guys. Yeah. Try it. Trust me, I remember I had to do this. There's situations we need to do this even until today. It has to be done. And it works. It works. You're not alone to deal with this stuff. Yeah. Yes, Petrina.
So it says anxiety doesn't take away tomorrow's sorrows. It takes away today's strength. The strength you need to find a solution and execute it. You know, like the saying goes, why worry if you can't make it better? You need to act on it and resolve the problem rather than just worrying about it.
That's true. Anxiety takes away, doesn't solve
tomorrow's sorrow.
Problem. Sorry, it just takes away today's strength. Okay, I'm getting it. Thank you, Petrina. Keep it going. Thank you. I'm receiving it, man. Look, these are lessons. No one is invulnerable to being, attacked by anxiety. Nobody. It could be, we're dealing with dating, we're dealing with love life, but it affects us in different ways. We're human beings. We're going to be on this earth. We don't know when Jesus is going to come back or how long we're going to be on this earth for. And different things are going to happen. Different things are going to occur. But what you shared with us today is to kind of bring us back to our central point, so we can keep maturing, keep developing like a fine wine, and everything will come for us. Everything will come to us. And you know what, to be honest with you, and I know this might sound strong to quite a few people, but if I leave this earth and I leave this earth as a happy single person, and I'm good with God, then to be miserable, connected to someone to make my journey harder, right, and burdensome, right? So all these things you're sharing with us today is literally so that we can have, is to invest on our journey. Our journey isn't about having, it's nice to have someone in our life. It's good to have someone in our life. It's amazing, right? But that's not the be all and end all, right? Our peace is much more important.
Exactly.
Wow.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So just give us a recap of the 5. Just a quick recap.
So the recap is understand that anxiety comes to everyone. So nobody's above it all the time. So everyone has anxiety at some point in their lives. And you need to realize that it comes in the form of fear. So you need to overcome the fear to overcome this fear, you have to face it.
Face it, yeah.
And the third one is to avoid
Stop pretending. Stop pretending. Don't say I'm not anxious. When you are anxious, you are there watching Titanic on rerun. It's same evening, you watch it 5 times. You late for work. There's anxiety there. Don't pretend yourself. Anyway, sorry. Go on.
Yes. So the third one is avoid situations that make you anxious, like, watching romantic movies, being, listening to love songs. The fourth is invest in the opposite of anxiety. That's calm, patience, rest, and confidence. And last but not least, to drink from the source of healing for all anxiety.
Oh, beautiful. Fantastic. All right. So that's it. There you have it, guys. Those were the nuggets for today, right, Petrina?
Yes, that's right.
Those were the nuggets for today.
So just a bit of homework. It's giving you homework. It says anxiety starts with a bad thought that brings other bad thoughts. So list down what bad thoughts about yourself or your love life have often crossed your mind, and then how can you overcome them using the 5 steps that we've just shared.
Fantastic. Absolutely phenomenal. So look, we've got a bit of practical homework there, guys. Yeah, so look, this is something that you can, when everyone's listening all over the world, you're hearing this, you're in your car, take time out, take 30 minutes to do this, right? Especially, as I would say, especially if you're single, but even those of you who are married, what are the bad thoughts? There are maybe situations in your relationship, in your love life. There are some situations like in my love life that I need to write down some thoughts so we can deal with them. It's just the reality of life. We're human beings. We've got stuff that we need to deal with. So Petrina's sharing this with all of us today. Write them down and see how you can overcome them. And you'll find that even some of them, when you look at it on paper, it's not real. It's just fantasy. Right?
Yes.
And that's a very tactical way to deal with it. Okay, Petrina.
So what I would say is write it down, but obviously if you can't think of anything, just keep like a notepad aside, and then as and when the anxiety comes into your mind during the day, just write it down and look for these solutions using the 5 steps that we mentioned.
Excellent. Petrina, you're absolutely amazing.
I can add something else to that. Is if you're a young chap or a young lady, say under 30 and you're still on the shelf, what you should do, you should go and talk to someone about my age, about 70 plus, right? Because the likelihood that a 70-year-old has been to 1 or 2 marriages, divorce, financial instability is very high these days, right? So that person can stabilize you as a 30-year-old or below and give you the right tips on how you think your way through it before you get into a deep morass, right? And they can give you some insight, like what you look out for, the words the other people on the other side say to you. Well, all that has got clues, right? But when you're 30-year-old or below, you're still quite a bit immature. It's amazing. You don't realize it unless you've been to combat or something like that. You don't mature until you're at least 40. But by then you might have been at 1 marriage or 2 marriages.
Oh gosh, that's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. And but it's interesting, and I think the key point here is that get someone who's more experienced, get someone who's had some life experience, and they've got a positive, because there are people who go through some life experience, and when they open their mouth, it's like a horror movie has just been. We just press play on a horror movie and they just neg you out. You know what I mean? So definitely identify the different sources, because in it, Ronald, because it could be 70 years of darkness from the person. Negative people like that. So definitely identify and have that third party. Don't keep stuff to yourself. You'll just get overwhelmed. Please. Don't keep stuff to yourself. Don't be like, oh no, if I speak, what are they gonna? No, you need to let it out, because otherwise it can overwhelm you, and anxiety can, like we heard from Petrina, could snowball, and you can do something, and like everyone's like wondering what happened. You know what I mean?
Your friends and family are there to help you, no?
Yeah, you got friends and family that are there to help you, but you have to check, because some of them, it's better that they didn't know your problem. There are people like that.
Sure.
Yeah. So
they're not real
check.
friends then.
Petrina's got a good saying, which I've heard her say a few times. She said, you've got to be happy in your own skin.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And I get it. So what that means is that whether you're married or you're not, you have got to be confident in yourself that no matter what happens to you, you're happy. You're confident in your own skin.
That's
right?
it.
And when that happens, you're going to attract people that are also happy in their own skin, and they will join you.
That's true.
Right? Whereas if you're anxious, it won't happen.
That's right. That's very, very true. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
And on that note, let's wrap up this section now. Thank you so much, Ronald, for your input just there, and Petrina for this amazing book review. And Shirley from Sweden says, at times we can be anxious about having something, but we fail to check if we are even ready to receive it. Preparation is vital. Wow, that's a cherry on the cake right there. Thank you so much for that, Shirley. Next week, what we're going to be looking at, very briefly.
Oh, the next week's getting more interesting. Talks about the myth of the right person.
Ooh, this is going to be really interesting. So, guys, don't miss next week with Petrina.
Connect online Monday to Friday with special guests for inspiration, motivation to start your morning right. Music, banter, fun and laughter. Connect when you start your mornings with The Breakfast Show. Only on libertyradio.co.uk. That's right, The Breakfast Show is back. libertyradio.co.uk from 6:30 a.m.